We are here today to do a demo on cabinet doors, and we're going to be using two different colors of our paint products. If you're familiar with our beautiful color called Bone and our new edition called Oyster, both of those have now been moved over into the all-in-one paint collection, and we're going to be showing you how we're going to get great coverage using Bone. And here's the beautiful sample jar that's now available, as well as Oyster. I'm going to be showing you all the step-by-step process on how to start from start to finish on your kitchen cabinets. And I'm going to do that by cleaning them and giving you all that process. This is Bone, this is Oyster, just a little bit lighter shade of a gray. This one just in reference, and I'll make that reference for you, so many will ask, I'm sure. But if you're going to compare it to the colors that you may already know, this is Coliseum, and of course this is going to be Bone, and this is Cashmere, so this is Bone. You're always looking for that awesome soft white. This is it, and I'm going to brush it over a white door today that's melamine. I'm going to show you what you need to do to get started. I'm going to also show you, I'm going to be using our fabulous Deglosser. And if you already know about our Deglosser, you can say that right here in this timeline, what a great product that it is. Thank you for all the awesome reviews you guys posted. We had nearly 1,300 reviews today that I went through, and they were fabulous, by the way. And so many of you mentioned Deglosser. Deglosser is a great way to start the process of painting in your home, removing all the oils, all the greases that have already deposited on your surface. Also, it will remove wax. If you've painted with traditional chalk paints, this is the great product to help you put it on, wipe it off, and then you're ready to go with the surety that you know that your paint will not fail. Grease and oil is the enemy to paint. So if there's something on the surface, it's going to prohibit the paint from bonding. Paint's going to try to bond to the oil and the grease, and obviously that's going to wipe away. So this is a great product to help you get there quick, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Got a couple of doors over here, and Melissa's with us, so keep commenting with the word paint, and she's going to call out a winner here. And we'll probably do it a few times, I guess. I don't know how many we're doing it, but we're going to do it some. I'm going to be using the pint of the Deglosser. We have it now in a quart. So many of you wanted it in a bigger size, and now you have it. So here's the process. If you were painting your kitchen cabinets at home, the only thing you need to do, you can use any type of brush. I'm just using our Syntec. That's what we have handy, and you can use your good brush. And just brush that onto the door. That's the easy way. Most of the time people will ask this question, do you remove the doors? That is personal preference, guys. My preference and Melissa's preference, what we've learned in the past, we don't need to remove the doors. I just put this on there, just kind of give it a good coating, and I can already see the dirt even on this.
Look how dirty those are.
I know, these are not mine. I'm not going to say
this ain't mine. Out of my house.
This ain't my cabinet. But anyway, take a little scrub pad that you might have from your sink, a little Scotch-Brite pad, whatever you have, steel wool, anything. And the reason you want to do that is you want to agitate. Sometimes grease, believe it or not, can harden. And what happens is over time, grease and airborne contaminants will land on your cabinets, things you don't even know. Then something goes over that, or maybe you clean it, or maybe you put on Murphy's oil soap and you don't clean that away so good and you didn't get all that grease off. You create a hard film, and then more grease lays on that, and more soaps and cleaners and so on lay on that. So you get this layered effect. So you want to be sure and agitate that and remove it. And where you'll see those things more than anywhere is around your stove area, obviously. But if you cook in your kitchen, it's everywhere. You know, I can see there's some dirt coming off this. This is a brand new cabinet door. And this is what's called, this is actually a thermofoil door. And if you guys know what thermofoil is, it is a melamine type substrate that goes over MDF. Meaning there's no real wood here. So y'all always ask, can I paint non-wood cabinets? Guys, most everybody's cabinets today are not wood. They may look like wood, but they ain't wood. They're a part of wood. They have particle board lots of times, or MDF, that means medium density fiberboard, that's covered over, sometimes with a picture of wood, sometimes a veneer or a sliver of wood that's glued on top of it. But very few cabinet doors today, or even door facings, are made out of wood. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Wood's expensive, and a lot of manufacturers choose to do things that look great that aren't necessarily solid. So it's okay, we all have it, but I'm going to show you a great technique to get the best coverage, and I'm going to share you. This is not my wet brush, is it? Make sure you don't use your Deglosser brush when you're painting. That would not be good. I'm going to show you how to do brush and roll, and I hope this demonstrates well. Matter of fact, I'm going to start with the other color because I don't think you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to show you Oyster first.
Oh, we have our white doors. Keep guessing paint. We're still playing paint brush, and when I call out brush, the person above me who has paint in their line will be the winner. So keep going. And then here in just a bit, we're going to tell you about the buy more, save more sale. So stay tuned.
We do. We have a little sale for those of you who love our paint. So let's talk about brush and roll. I want to just show you how to do this really easily. All right, I'm going to put on my first coat. You can do this with a true applicator or you can brush it on. I'm just going to brush this one on. Just get in there, get in the grooves. Now notice I'm not really worried about how this looks. And I know everybody gets fretting over this right here and they go, oh, it looks terrible. So many brush strokes. It's just awful. This paint's supposed to lay down on its own. It's supposed to just be able to jump on this cabinet door and look like velvet, but it
Paint
don't.
itself for me.
You got to do a little bit.
You'd be a bazillionaire if that were the case.
Well, you got to do a few things. And here's the first thing you got to do. You got to remember this is the first coat, okay? Now, what I'm trying to do with this brush and why this brush works so great, first of all, it's tapered. You see how that rounds? That means it'll get in these little crevices and all that back in these little corners. I'm going to do a decent job brushing it on. The reason I'm trying to brush it on good, I want to distribute the paint. When you start seeing all these bubbles and you go, oh, it just bubbles so terrible, that means you didn't distribute it, move it around enough, okay? So this little tool right here, or the true applicator, whichever you choose, and I hope you can see this. The reason I'm going to use this is I'm going to lightly roll this. Now, this is just helping me to remove any signs that I brushed it on. It's going to give me a great look, okay? You're going to see this just in a sec. Go right around the edges kind of first, knock that out. You got questions?
I do have a few, and it's so hard to see that color on camera.
Sure.
It looks white as can be. It is a taupey color, guys.
It is, sadly.
I'll try to kill the lights here in a second when she's done and show it to you.
Well, I'm hoping that they can even see what I'm doing here, but we thought we had oak doors down there, and we did not. All right, so if you get any little bubbles, which I did right there, just a tiny second of bubbles, meaning I hadn't got that little pooled up area brushed out good. But just keep rolling through it. They were very mild. You just roll them on out, okay?
See what that does.
Well, that might have helped, actually.
That helped a little bit, yeah.
I feel like I'm in the dark. Maybe
Just so they can see the color real quick.
All right, that's good.
It didn't help much.
Are you able to see it all?
We might have to hold it up closer to the camera here at the end.
I just want to teach you the technique of brush and roll. Now, I'm not just going to keep rolling this. Guys, you know I'm just barely touching this. This is a squeaky roller. This one's got a little arthritis. All right, like its user.
It's our spirit roller.
Like its user and mine and your roller, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's good enough. Now, for one coat over white, pretty fabulous. Now, if you can see that. And using that roller just solved all my little brush strokes. Now we're going to let that dry really well.
Can you see the taupiness to it a little bit now?
It's an awesome color of a soft, mild. It is exactly what you call taupe, honestly. It is taupe. Yes, guys, if you are trying to tackle your bathrooms, your kitchens, and whatever it is you want to do, here's the first step. Just one more door we'll clean. This, again, is a melamine surface, in other words, coated with plastic, basically, a plastic door over MDF. Just brush on that deglosser. That's going to etch that surface. You will not be able to see with your eye that you've etched the surface. So many of you will call or email us and say, I can't tell that the deglosser worked. Well, you can't visually see that it worked.
You can feel it.
You can feel that it will be very, you can drag your hand on it. You can hear that there's a little pull back to your hand. You can feel that slick's no longer there. Even though it might look shiny, it's still not going to be shiny.
So we've got a couple questions about the deglosser.
Sure, ask away.
Sherry wants to know, does she need to do the scrubbing part even when she's doing furniture like a dresser?
Oh, absolutely. This is the best way, Sherry, and whoever else might have this same question always. Anything you're painting, I don't care if it's an indoor piece, an outdoor piece, whenever there's a question that you're going to paint and is it going to bond, this is a great way to do that. Now, let me say this about our paint product. Our paint doesn't necessarily require that it has to have this done. But this is just a way for you to know and a way for me to know that you've done everything you could do to make your project successful. This paint bonds wonderfully. But if you have, or I don't know what you have going on in your home, and sometimes maybe you don't even know what you're painting over, it's hard for you to convey that. This paint, again, contains its own bonding primer. But if you were to paint in your kitchen, and I told you that it has a built-in bonding primer, but I failed to tell you that you really do need to clean those cabinets first. You may clean it with Murphy's oil soap, and that would be disastrous. So I want to make sure that you understand that there's some step that you need to do to make sure that any paint is going to hold up in your home. And that Deglosser gives you that without any question mark or without you wondering what product should I use. That's the best way for me to tell you. And it's in one little can. It's $7.99, or you can get the big can, and this one's how much? $12.99. So you can get double that. This is a quart. So you can get a pint for $7.99 or just up it. If you know how much you love it and how much other people love it and all the things they do with this, wow, y'all found some great uses for Deglosser, guys. I'm blown away when I read through that. The other thing great about this product is you do not have to rinse it off. And lots of products out there like TSP, Mean Green, what's the other one? Crud Cutter. All of those require a rinse, and if you don't rinse, they leave a residue behind which will interfere with your paint. So you definitely need to read the directions if you're going to forego not getting our Deglosser. If you're painting anything, not just using this paint, but make sure you read the directions. If you're going to go to the problem of cleaning, you want to make sure that you do what it says, or just buy this, put it on, wipe it off, you're done. That's the easy way. All right, so this door is really pretty and beautiful. Doesn't need a paint job, but we're going to give it one anyway, okay? We're going to give it one just for the sheer fact that we need to paint a door white and show you, and I'm going to do that one using the beautiful, beautiful color Bone. It's just a slight, actually it's probably going to not even show whatsoever on here. Not at all.
Not
it's going to change the sheen of this door, but hopefully we can see that. So I'm just going to brush on my coat, get it going.
And I just want to remind you guys, we are playing another round of paintbrush. So that means you comment paint or some variation of. You want to change it up periodically so that Facebook doesn't put you in Facebook jail. And then when I comment brush, the winner above me on my screen will be the winner. And I will screenshot that. It may not be the same person that you see.
Okay.
Let me try to zoom in here and see if we can tell what she's doing a little better.
So this is going to change the sheen of this door because right now it's probably what I'm going to call a gloss finish on this. So our paint has a beautiful low luster sheen, meaning not matte, but it has a gorgeous velvet glow to it. A lot of people want to call it satin. It's truly not a satin. It has a similarity of satin. Let's say that would be the best way to describe it, would be satin, but it's really a glow that it has, not a shine. So that's what it's going to do to this door. All right, so we just brushed on a coat.
Look how great these two colors are looking together. You can still see a little bit of the oyster here in the screen.
See it?
Pretty together.
All right, so I'm going to use the True Applicator because so many of y'all have. If you don't have the Tool Trio, I suggest getting it because that way you'll get the little roller. You'll get everything you need to be successful.
You don't like that tapping noise, do you?
I can't handle that banging, no. All right, so I'm going to use my True Applicator and just go in here and just give this a slight stipple just to take away any of those brush marks and to help the paint lay down to give us that beautiful, beautiful.
It's doing the exact same thing. It's just a matter of which technique you like better.
The roller on cabinets, I'm telling you guys, the roller, you can't beat it. It's a $4 tool. You cannot beat it. It's the same foam as this True Applicator. It's the same little open cell foam. It's going to do the same thing. It just keeps you from having to do all the pouncing. So now if you have something contoured, you can also use this to base coat with. Lots of different things you can use the True Applicator for, so I highly suggest you get those. Just get the Tool Trio, that's the easy way. And you got it all. You can paint literally anything in your home. So you can already see this is beginning to lose its sheen. It'll dry super quick, and you'll be ready for your second coat in about 30 minutes, depending on humidity in the air. And now you see we didn't gum on the paint. We didn't have it dripping and running and moving off the piece. There you go. You can see that already.
Look at that
You
pretty
can see that? You see all the little stipple marks? No, that's going to
Still
dry
wet.
out. You can see that, right? You see all the stippling marks. That's going to totally dry out here in just a minute. And let me lay this one to the side. I'd like to get another coat. And if you are wondering how much product that it takes for you to do your kitchen, go to allinonepaint.com/get started. Just put that right in there. That'll take you right through the video that will tell you how much product that you need, or close. It's not hard. It's hard for it to be exact, but it will tell you what you need. But always get a little extra. Don't get it so tight that you'll be running out needing an extra quart, because it's always best to get it all together. A quart will cover 140 square feet. A pint will cover 70, and the sample size will cover 40 to 45 square feet. So that little $6.99 sample, if you're new to our page, comment right here. We're going to send you a link to get yourself a free sample. You'll pay the $6.99 shipping to your door, and that little sample is normally $16.99 plus shipping. So it's actually a great value, and that will cover something as big as your vanity, even sometimes a double sink vanity. If it's not going to be too drastic of a color change. You'll even get something that large out of it. Your front door, lots of good size projects you can get out of your free sample. So give it a try if you are new to our paint product, and you'll find out how easy this paint is to use versus all the major brand name paints that you've heard of. Give it a try, and I think you'll be amazed at just what you're going to find out, how easy it is to use, and all the things that will help you update and renew around your home. It doesn't have to be a great brush to apply the Deglosser. You're just actually just using it just as a tool, just to get it on there. So you can use an old chip brush. You can use just use anything to distribute it on there. That's all you're trying to do, just to get it on there. I'm doing the second coat here, guys. If you're just jumping on here,
oh boy, a lot of people bolted to go take advantage of that sale. We dropped about half here.
Oh, well.
We still got a lot on.
That's okay. That's okay.
And they'll come
guys,
back.
come back. Sure, come back and finish this, because if you need to know how to get started on your cabinets, this is a great little video. I know we use the best tips video, but this is probably going to be just simple and easy right here to be a great tool for you. So this is everything you need to know right here. Leave the doors on or take them off. You can get a little artist brush and paint around hinges. That's up to you. We're not going to tell you yay or nay on that. That's just how you personally want to do it. Either or works.
You know, I'm planning to paint those cabinets in mine Stonehenge.
I got a
sitting here
feeling
looking
they
at
just
this.
got ready to go oyster.
I might have to take this open sample home with me and test it out here.
We're gonna be doing Melissa's. We're doing a national television ad, guys, and we got some folks that are gonna be on it with us. Some of our great customers here that give us some great reviews and want to be on the ad with us. So that's coming up soon. You'll see us on your local TV. Let's hope. All right, so here we go. Brushing it out, just a light little roll. If you see bubbles, which I see a few popping up, that means I didn't get it all distributed so evenly, but you're going to distribute it right here evenly. And I know, guys, when you get this roller, you're so tempted to pour that paint out and roll it on with that roller. You will not get the same effect. Trust me, it will not work the same. You're not using this to put the paint on. You're using this to just soften the lines where you brushed it out. If you try to roll it on, you're going to get a mess.
You know, something else I think people do too, when you're painting your entire kitchen, if you're doing a lot of cabinets in one setting, because you're on a mission to get it done, right? I think over so many doors, your roller probably gets pretty wet, and that may cause some bubbles. Have a couple.
Yeah.
They're cheap. Get a couple when you order them.
Or just stop and wash it out, whatever. You don't have to, just stop and wash it out good. Or
Wow.
have a couple, whatever you choose. But
You'll have to be more patient than me, because when I'm ready to get it done, I don't want to wait for that thing to dry.
I just dry it with a paper towel. Give it a good squeeze with a paper towel. Wet it, clean it, take a paper towel and squeeze it out. I see people asking about replacements for these. I have never worn one of these out, ever.
No.
They do not wear out. They just don't. You're not doing anything to it other than just like lightly fluffing it around here. It's not like it's working too hard. So this is going to do it. 2 coats, you're done. And this wasn't ready for second coat, perfect, but it went on quite perfect. I want to show it to you.
So Holly was asking, do you need to ventilate the room that you're painting in?
0. There is no VOCs. There's no smells here whatsoever. Now, of course, this is wet. But you can see that, how beautiful that's going to look.
Mm-hmm.
And when that dries, you will see it has a gorgeous, gorgeous sheen to it. Not shiny, but a beautiful sheen. And there you go. That's it. No brush strokes, and this is the way to get it done. So just put that on there and do that. Now I would close my door or open my doors back after I got them done and paint the inside of the door. That's all you need to do to have a beautiful finish, and you'd be on to door number 2.
And we had Sharon was asking about how many coats it typically takes when you're painting your
Well, it
cabinets.
depends on the color, Sharon, that you're going over and what you're painting with. If you are using white, always the question will come up, is a primer necessary? If you will use the technique I just showed you right there, using brush and roll, using these tools, using our brush and using this $4 roller, you can use the True Applicator, but I highly suggest this roller when you're working on lots of big flat surfaces. Just get the tool trio. You'll have everything then later because it's very inexpensive. These are $4 also, and this is a great little tool to have in your arsenal. But if you are painting, using primers are a different situation. Whenever you use a primer, primers are thick in consistency. Primers have a hide in them. And we have a primer if it's necessary for you to feel like you need a primer. But remember, the paint has its own bonding primer in it. It doesn't have what's called a hide primer. But by industry standards. This product is what's called full hide. If it is considered full hide in the industry, and that means it doesn't necessarily have to have a hide primer underneath. It contains a bonding primer, but if you'll apply it right using brush and roll method, you won't need to put any type of primer on there. But if you're just going to brush, you will have to maybe, you might want to put a primer on there. Lots of people are old school, so people ask us often, why do you sell primer if you don't need a primer? It's because there's a lot of people who are destined and they will not have it any other way. They have to put a primer on.
They won't hear us.
They're not going to hear anything but. So rather than making you go out on the street and figure out what primer to use, we offer a great primer that will lay down. It's not thick. It's not going to be causing brush strokes in your paint and causing you a lot of texture that will radiate through your finished surface. So that's the reason why. The other issue that can come about when you're painting using whites on dark finishes, especially old cabinets, things that are stained, and maybe old red oaks, maybe something that's mahogany or cherry, especially redwoods or stained redwoods, things that are made to look like redwoods. Sometimes those old stains do not like white and they don't like to be covered up. You might get what's called bleed through, and when that happens, you can use shellac. You can brush on a quick coat of shellac to stop that from happening. Shellac's thin like water, easy to use. You can also buy it in a spray can. If you've just got a spot or two, I suggest just taking the spray can and just tapping those spots and moving on and painting. If you want to get a primer that would stop any type of a bleed through, you will find that bin primer, B-I-N primers. That is something you can buy on the shelf everywhere. Bin primers contain shellac. That's what bin is standing for. Bin primer will stop any of that bleed through. These are rare occurrences when they happen. It's only when using white generally that you would see something like that happen. It's not a time to panic. It's easy fix. It's something that, like I say, you just can take a spray can of shellac and just hit those areas where you might see a little bleed coming through. But if you have the whole area doing it, it's easy fixed. Just brushing on a quick coat of shellac and then continuing on painting. So anyway, I'm trying to give you the whole scenario here, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that way you won't find that anything is going to rattle you as you're beginning to paint. But the easy thing is just get started. Don't let anything deter you from just starting. And even if it's just something in your garage you're going to throw away, just start the process of painting something. I believe it'll bring you a lot of joy in fixing up your own home.
Katie wants to know, how long after painting your cabinets can you shut the doors?
You can shut the doors probably as soon as it's dry to the touch, and that will be that evening. I just, if you can leave them open, the longer the better. And there's the reason I even hesitate when I say that, there's a lot of factors involved there too, because paint cures based on the humidity in your home. If you have, maybe you're living down in Florida, it's going to be a lot more humid. It's going to take a little longer for it to dry. If you were painting a lot of layers of whites, let's say, and you had a dark cabinet, you've put on 4 or 5 layers. There's 4 or 5 layers there that need to dry thoroughly, and that's going to take a little bit longer. So it's kind of a little bit, there's a variable in there, but you can feel of it with your hand. And if you think it feels spongy and soft, don't shut the door. Just give it overnight. If you can leave them open, the longer the better. So that's the best way. Everything with paint is not all just written down in a book. There's some variables in there, and you learn them as you go along and as you become a painter in your home and using tools and so on. This is a great paint for those who have never put a paintbrush into paint. That's pretty. It's starting to dry already. So yeah, look at that. So this might be my favorite color, honestly. I really do love it on the walls.
Yeah.
So I got a feeling that's what color your cabinets. Her cabinets are oak right now, so they may very well end up being oyster. I think it's a good one for you. I really do. She's got a lot. She loves Mediterranean, so she's got a lot of accessories and a lot of things painted already colorful. So to tone it down in there will be great. Are new to the page that you would like to get the free sample, we'll send you that link as well. And thank you guys for commenting and playing along. And again, if you have any questions, please post them here. We're glad to help you and answer any questions on painting anything around your home, including your kitchen cabinets, your bathroom vanities, or any exterior projects you may have going on. We'll see y'all soon. Bundle up. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.